Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Thibaut, and today we're going to go over the 10 most popular car trends in 2025. But we're going to focus mainly on the car trends in Belgium and the Netherlands, because this is more of my local area, and I've got more of a visual on that. So there are a lot of electric breakthroughs and a lot of smart software nowadays. And here in Belgium and the Netherlands, there are also a lot of Chinese EVs flooding the market. So let's take a deep dive into these new car trends. Let's get started. So I personally don't really like EVs, but we see that there is really a lot of demand for these kind of cars, because over 35% in the Netherlands has been of the new cars that were sold were EVs. And for Belgium, this is almost the same. Here in Belgium, there are almost 33% of the new car market. There are a lot of brands that build EVs, but the most popular ones here are the Volvos, the Polestars, the Teslas, and then of course the new Chinese player that has recently entered the Belgian market, and that's BYD. But because these are still very expensive, there are also some cheaper alternatives like the MG4 and the Dacia Spring. This rise in sales is mainly because the technology is improving. This means the cars can be charged faster and the maintenance costs are lower. Also, the subsidies that the people get for buying these cars were first a big part of why people bought the cars. But now we see that these are reduced, but it's still rising. This means that subsidies are not the only or main reason they buy these cars. It's because they are getting cheaper and smarter. So not everybody is sold on the electrics. Uh, so there are some other options as well. Besides combustion and electric, we also have the hybrid system. This is in the form of a full hybrid or a plug-in hybrid. This is mostly done because inside the city you are most of the time with a normal combustion engine burning a lot more fuel while traveling through the city. So in this case you can then use the electric system. But for on the longer rides where using electric would mean you have to stop a lot faster to charge the car, you can then use the combustion engine, which is a lot better for longer drives, because this means the fuel usage will go down because you're driving a long period on the same speed. There are a lot of brands that are doing this really good. These are like Toyota, Kia, Peugeot, and Volvo. So we have to keep in mind well that by 2030 there are a lot of these hybrids that will be faded out because of the strict emission rules that are placed are going to be in effect by then because of the EU regulations. There is also a second reason why these electric cars are gaining a lot of popularity inside Belgium and the Netherlands. This is because of the charging infrastructure. Because without it, it would not be possible to drive your cars very far if you're only driving electric. This is the backbone of this electric wave. Because in the Netherlands there are around 180,000 uh, um, charging points, and with this it's the leader inside of Europe. But Belgium is also catching up fast. especially in the bigger cities like Antwerp, Ghent, or Brussels. And these fast chargers are going insanely quick. They are already being able to charge uh, a car in 15 minutes. Then the next step will be, of course, the bidirectional charging, where you could be able to charge your home with your car. If you're, for example, charging normally at the office, then you can go home and then you can use the electricity that's inside your car to maybe put on some lights or the dishwasher or something else. So the car market is always shifting and changing like any other normal market would do. So, but in Belgium we saw that the car market or the car sale overall car sales dropped by around 10% in 2025. And in the EVs especially we saw a decline of 18% in the first half of the year. The main reason for this is, of course, the economic turmoil that's happened throughout the year. This makes that people are being more cautious with their money. Also, the bank loans are having a bit more higher interest rates, and then, of course, the subsidies who are going away. But the demand is not disappearing. It's shifting towards more uh, affordable electric cars and not the really expensive ones. So these of course these demands have to be met. So who are who is going to jump on these demands? Of course, it's the Chinese. They have flooded the European market with a lot of different new car brands like BYD, Xpeng, CSS, and NYO. These budget-friendly cars are packed with a lot of tech. And in Belgium, there are every month, every month there are arriving thousands Chinese-built cars in the ports of Antwerp. Meanwhile, the Dacia continues to grow and makes up for about 6% of the market share. And for the European car makers, it's a wake-up call to be able to create more affordable cars, or otherwise they will be falling behind the Chinese. And for us, the customers, it's great news, of course, because by of the fact that there are a lot more brands competing for the same amount of people who are buying cars. This means the cars will get a lot cheaper, and for our wallets, that's always a good thing. And another major driver of this shift is, of course, the tax policy. In the Netherlands, EVs are still enjoying the tax benefits, but the exemptions are going down as well. In Belgium, there are a lot of new rules making hybrids less attractable and because they are less deductible for businesses. As a result, companies are shifting and rethinking their fleets. They are going more for electric because they can have a lot more tax benefits with these types of cars. And in the long run, electric cars are always financially smart because fuel prices these days are pretty high. So that's also a small thing they have to look out for. Although most of the car guys don't really like this part, but today these new cars are almost all software on wheels because they are getting over-the-air updates, all AI based voice assistants, and smart navigation is standard in almost every new car. For models like the Polestar, the VW's ID.7 and the Tesla Model Y, you can just download new features like you download apps on your iPhone or Samsung. Your car adapts to the way you drive, it learns from it, and this way it learns a lot of things about you so it makes it more accustomed to your driving style. This is the new innovative engine of the automotive world. The green revolution does not stop at the use of EVs alone. This is because the EU laws are pushing towards renewable and sustainability. This means these car brands have to adapt as well, because it's no longer optional, it's a bit of a competitive advantage, and that is pushed by the EU. This means that, for example, BMW is recycling battery components for their cars, and Volvo is using recycled aluminium to put in their body panels. Also, for their factories, this means that they have to make sure they are going green. For example, the Audi Brussels has is running on completely renewable energy. So, what do we see in the future of the car market? So, in the Netherlands, Renault is testing the new vehicle to grid systems, which means the vehicle would be able to charge and discharge its battery to the grid. Also, we see a big rise in micro vehicles like the Citroën Ami or the Dutch Squad Solar. These are tiny cars. For example, the Dutch Squad Solar is a tiny solar powered car, and these are gaining a lot of traction in the more crowded cities because these are small compact cars that get you easily from A to B. Also, in places like Brussels and Amsterdam, this could solve a big issue that is traffic and parking space. This micro-mobility is maybe the next frontier for the car market or the car world. So there you have it, the 10 new car trends for 2025 in the Netherlands and Belgium. These trends are reshaping the car scene as we speak, from electric growth to software driven cars, which are already tested in the US. The vehicles of tomorrow are going to be smarter, greener, and more accessible than ever. Although I personally would prefer to see a resurgence in the combustion engine category, because as a car guy, I'm not gonna go ahead and buy an electric vehicle because I just don't like it. I like the sound. But what do you think? Do you prefer electric or the classic combustion engine? Leave it in the comments down below. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you in the next one.